I'm Matthew Follis. I'm from Toronto, Canada, but I'm currently living in Fargo. My discernment story starts back in '07 when I kind of fell away from the faith due to some family issues. About 12 years later, I refound the faith, and in doing so, it was just beautiful. Went to Mass one day, after 12 years not being there, came out of the church. The sky seemed more blue, the grass seemed more green, the birds just sounded more beautiful. And I just really felt at that moment, I was like, great God, I hear you. And I kept coming back, and a couple months later, an idea popped into my head of, I think I'm being called to be a priest. And that's kind of where the ball started getting rolling. Discerning a bit in Toronto for the rest of that summer, still hadn't came in with any sort of answer. Moved to Fargo, registered as a parishioner at the cathedral, spent about a year just continuing my own discernment in my own way at that point, going to Mass every Sunday, eventually meeting up with a priest, Father Paul Kuhn. He was assigned to the cathedral at that point. My first meeting with him, I remember walking away from that saying to myself, and that's the type of guy that I'd invite over for supper, which is pretty neat. Had started to meet up with him more. He was helping me get more involved in the cathedral. The more I got involved, the more I wanted to get involved. The more I was learning, the more I wanted to learn. Just felt like I was being drawn further and further and deeper and loving every step I was taking. Through meeting with him, Father Kuhn, quite a few times, ended up culminating in going out for dinner one night. And in it, I was wanting to ask him a question because I wanted to talk to him about discerning the priesthood. Or when I asked that of him, he said to me, I've been trying to figure a way to bring that one up with you, but he kept telling me that, well, he told me that he kept here thinking in prayer that I should be the one that brings it up first. And right after we finished that conversation, the vocation director called, which was, you can say coincidental, I guess, if you want to, or providential. Got in contact with the vocation director later that week, and he arranged for me a couple weeks later to go visit Mount St. Mary's Seminary. While I was on my way back to the airport, one of the seminarians out there asked me where I was in my discernment, and after being at the Mount for just those few days, I just felt an absolute sense of peace with discernment, that this is where I'm supposed to end up going. And so I told him, I'm gonna apply, and then if I'm accepted, I'll definitely go. Got back to Fargo, meet up with Father Paul Kuhn for supper, and he asked me that same question. I just had the same response. A couple days later, I get in contact with the vocation director again to pick up an application. Finished filling out the application, went on a Vienna discernment weekend. In May, I got word back from Bishop Fulda and that I had been accepted as a seminarian for the Diocese of Fargo. I started to serve more at Mass during weekdays and on weekends. The more I was serving at Mass, the more I wanted to serve. The more I was getting involved, the more I wanted to get involved. I filled out the application for the Mount, got accepted there, and that's where I'm going to be heading this fall.